Hey, I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co., and it's 2026, which should feel crazier than it actually does. It doesn't actually feel that crazy, at least for me. I don't know what it was, but like, 2026 kind of feels like it's just been waiting to happen, which it is. That is how time works. But either way, it's 2026 now, which means it's time for that thing that I like to do every single year, where I do a bunch of videos on, like, last year, not 2025, not last year, but last year, the year before 2025, looking back at 2024, and then having a bunch of videos covering those games that faded for me over time, games that I still want to play, hidden gems, the best games we visited, because with enough time, the problem with doing, like, everyone's so excited, myself included, to do videos on 2025 games, but you don't have as much time to get to them. There's still plenty of games in 2025 that I haven't gotten to that I still should. They came out the last few months of the year. They were released at Essen or PAX Unplugged. It's hard to get to everything. And so I really enjoy doing this series of videos where I look back at the year prior, now that we've had a lot of time to settle on those games. But with that said, sometimes, even with all that extra time, I still haven't gotten to all of those games, which is why this video is part of a series of like 5 videos. Actually, this fun fact, this video is part of 2 series. There's 2 different series that I'm doing. Series 1 is looking back at games from 2024, and this video is 15 games from 2024 that I still want to play, that I haven't played, with an asterisk on 1 or 2 of them. But like 15 games from 2024 that I want to play. The other series it's part of is last year I started doing a challenge for myself that I think I'm probably going to do every single year, where I set for myself games I want to play. Not necessarily review copies, they're just games I want to get played. Last year I set for myself 35 games, of which I wanted to play 35. I wanted to play at least 30 of those 35. Give myself some leeway, you know. And I got to 29 out of those 30, which I'm pretty happy with. You can check out the results of that when that video goes live. I'll be doing a full recap of those games, telling you my thoughts and opinions. So excited to play most of them, and then how they fared. Some did better than others. But anyways, this is one of 3 videos. So it's one of 4 or 5 videos from 2024. And then it's one of 3 videos of games I want to get played, which are going to be games from 2024, games on Board Game Arena, and then games from my own collection with an asterisk on how I'm doing that one. Lots of asterisks all around. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into it. But first, a note from our sponsor. Allplay is the channel sponsor. And Allplay, speaking of games that I want to get tabled, I've played Movie Night and I've played Book Club. I'll have a review for those at some point. Those are both designed by Peter Hayward, but I have not played, designed by Corey Young. We have Witches, which I have not played. I've heard very good things about this one. This is specifically, it's 3 Witches, not Witches. 3 Witches. It is a trick-taking game specifically for 3 players with an interesting mechanism where kind of one player becomes the witch fighting against the other 2 witches. Very fascinating, almost a King of the Hill style trick-taking game. I've read the rules, I've heard good things, I have not played it, but this is a launch event, depending when this video goes up. I don't know if this launch event will still be eligible, but you can still check them out at allplay.com. These 3 games will be launching at some point, but Allplay is a channel sponsor. Thank you to them for sponsoring the channel. With that said, let's go ahead and dive into these 15. I am sorting these in order from least to most, and in fact, number 15 is really the least on this one. I had a few others I could have put here, but I was like, you know what? I did want to play MLEM Space Agency. MLEM, I was gonna say MLEM. MLEM Space Agency is a game that it's from 2024, but I think I saw it. Yeah, in 2024. I remember when 2024, when it came out, I was hanging around a bunch of people playing the game, and I can't remember if this might have been on Board Game Arena, or maybe it is on Board Game Arena. I can't remember. What I do remember, it's not part of my Board Game Arena series, but this one is one that I saw being played, and I thought it looked interesting, and then I kind of forgot to actually make a priority to get them tabled. By the way, many of these games I own. I would say probably around 10 out of these 15 I own, if I had to guess. We'll go through them as we do, but MLEM is one that I don't own. It's part of why I give myself some of that leeway, because I don't necessarily have all the games. But again, MLEM, send your cats through the solar system to occupy planets and moons. The concept sounds intriguing, the rating's decent enough, it's very approachable, 30 to 60 minutes, so it's a nice entry game. Plays better at 4 to 5 players, which is a little tricky for me just because I find once you get to 4 to 5 players, there's usually a lot of other games I want to play, so that's one thing that could hold it back. But overall, it is one that has been on my list to want to table, and it still is there, and I never actually got to it. Then we have Tales of the Arthurian Knights, very strongly rated. This is an 8, this is an 8. An 8 is a good rating for a game. The only thing with this one is this is a re-implementation of Tales of the Arabian Nights, which is the first time I ever played a narrative style game, and I did not like it. Now, my tastes have changed over the years. I've gotten a lot more, I still don't think that narrative is my main reason for playing games, but I've come to appreciate it a lot more, and so I have always wanted to like reapproach that game, and when I heard they're making Tales of the Arthurian Knights, that made me more interested. It's kind of choose your own adventure in a board game, or at least Tales of the Arabian Nights was that. I don't know how different Arthurian Knights is, but the high rating on this one, Arabian Nights does not have that high rating. The high rating on this one, combined with me wanting to kind of approach a game, combined with the theme that I prefer, has this one on the lower end of the games I want to play, but still one I want to get tabled. Then there's Arcs, another very highly rated game, just outside the top 100 games. It's 105, just outside the top 100. This one, Tales of the Arthurian Knights, I don't have either. MLEM and Tales, I don't have. But Arcs, I actually do have, I don't have a copy myself. I do have access to a copy within my game group though, so that definitely helps. But it is one that was very, very hyped when it first came out. This is like a trick-taking area control. There's a whole bunch of things going on here. Designed by Cole Worley, put out by Leader Games. Like it's one of those games that has made, like, Leader Games is everything they put out is well. What's the right word for it? People are hyped for it. People are excited for it. People want to see those games, but not all of them really hit it. Some do better than others. But Arcs, about to be in the top 100, definitely seems like one of those. I mean, I think it's probably their second highest. I'd have to look at their games, but like Root's obviously their highest. But Arcs is definitely doing very, very well. And enough time has gone on that like a lot of people were like, "Are you gonna cover it? Are you gonna cover it?" And I was like, maybe I'll get to it. I'm just not like super excited for it, but maybe I'll get to it. And like it is one that I feel I'm at the point where I kind of want to get to play it at some point. So this is going on my list. My challenge, again, same rules this year. I want to get to 30 out of the 35 games that I'm setting for myself. 15 from 2024, 10 from my collection, and 10 from Board Game Arena. We'll see if Arcs makes the cut. The fact that I have access to it definitely makes it more likely. Fun fact, from the 6 games I didn't get to last year, 2 of them were games I just didn't own. Then we have coming in next, we have Phoenix New Horizon. I do have access from this one. This is from Paralocal Games, but then put out by Capstone. It's an SN 2024 release, if I'm not mistaken, so enough time has gone on that, again, you should be able to play this one. I've actually read the rules for this one. I'm prepped to go on this one. I just haven't gotten a table. It looked very interesting, combining the overall interesting aspect of the game, the way you're kind of chaining these things together as you build on this map, but then also the high ratings on this one has me very intrigued by it. I don't know what it is. Something about the game is not making me like inspired to play it, but I do want to play it, if that makes sense. So it's lack of inspiration, but definitely want to at the same time. Read into that how you will, but that's Phoenix New Horizon. Lower down this list. Oh, we got a cat. Oh, hello. Hello, do not step on the keyboard. Is the keyboard off? Good, keyboard's off. I've gotten into the habit of turning my keyboard off when I film videos because these guys like to step on my keyboard, and there's a freaking power button. Why does anyone have a power button on... No, seriously. On a keyboard, there's a little power button. I don't know if you'll see this over here. This little button over here, that says power, okay? It turns off your computer. Like it goes into hibernate mode or whatever. Who likes that button? That button, like even before cats, like there'd be the time you accidentally hit a button on your keyboard and suddenly your whole computer powers down. And I haven't found a way to like deactivate that button. I can deactivate the keyboard, I turn off the keyboard, but I can't turn off that single button. It's so stupid. Is there a way to turn off that button that I just haven't looked into? I can't remember if I've actually, another random thing. I don't remember if I've done the work of looking into it, like actually Googling it, ChatGPT, all of that, or if I've just tried, whatever that means. Either way, keyboards with power buttons are stupid. It's like, you know, oranges with pulp or any of those kinds of things. They shouldn't exist. I mean, I guess oranges with pulp I'm less upset about because, you know, you can buy the oranges without pulp, but most keyboards have that power button. Anyways, back to the video over here. We have Middle Ages. Middle Ages, slightly lower rating on this one, put out by Studio H. When this first came out, again, I want to say Gen Con 2024 if I'm not mistaken, but when it first came out, I was excited to play it. I just never got around to it. I do have a copy of it. It looks very accessible, like 30 minutes, lighter rating. Again, it's one of those things where sometimes games are really, really heavy, really, really deep, give you a lot of strategic depth to them. Other times, they're just very easy to play. Like, a 7.2 is not the best rating, but like Leaders, also from Studio H. Leaders is one that I've really been enjoying a lot, and it's a lower rated game, but I like it a lot. Sometimes, lower ratings don't mean the game's bad, it just means that, you know, people are looking for different things in games, and the question is, where does a game settle? Like, when it goes down to below a 7, it gets less and less likely that I'll like it, but even that does happen. But a 7.2, it could be a game I really enjoy. It might be a game I love. The problem with games like this, I will say, especially lighter games, is very often I find them very, very charming, but they don't hold up to will I pull you off the shelf. That said, none of that's the point over here. The point is, I want to play it. Also, it's a reimplementation of Majesty for the Realm. Did I know that? I don't think I knew that, but I also don't think I've played Majesty, so I don't know if that makes a difference. Moving on, we have Castellans. Castellans, fun fact, this is, I think, the only pick. So from my 35 games that I wanted to play in 2020, in last year's list, my 35 games from last year, Castellans was one that was in my collection. There's a collection pick that I just wanted to play, and I didn't get to play. This is from Daily Magic Games. It's part of the Valeria universe, or at least it seems like it's part of the Valerias. I think it's called, was it called Castellans of Valeria? Am I just assuming that? I don't know. Yeah, no, it's a Valeria game. It says in the bottom box corner, right over here. It's hard to see, but like this is over here. Right there, bottom box corner, Valeria Universe of Games. That's a much smarter way of doing it than the way they used to do it, which is calling everything of Valeria, which is very confusing. But I like Valeria Card Kingdoms a lot. I've generally enjoyed the Valeria games. I don't usually keep most of them. Valeria Card Kingdoms is still here. But Castellans is one that I've wanted to try because it's part of the Valeria universe. And I am including it on this year's list, although it's part of a different category. Because now that is not gotten played last year, now it's part of 2024 games that I didn't get to. So we are including this one here because it is one of the 6 that I unfortunately did not get to. But either way, the main reason I'm interested in this one is because it's part of the Valeria universe. That's what has me intrigued. Area control, dice rolling, variable player powers, all that stuff. But Valeria is the main thing that has me hooked. Suna Valo, another Capstone Games pick over here. This is a game that I wanted to play this. I can't remember which convention it was at. Was it Gen Con? I don't remember what it was, but I remember seeing this at conventions, and I was like, one that I want to try. It's a 2-player game, plays in 45 to 90 minutes, but it's a 2-player head-to-head game, which had me very intrigued. That combined with the high ratings, again, a 7.8. Like, it's weird. 7.8 is a high rating. Rank 4089 means not a lot of people play this one. This definitely hasn't hit that wider availability or distribution, or whatever you want to call it. But Suna Valo is one that has had me interested since I first saw it on a convention list, and I looked into it a bit more, and I was like, you know what? This does kind of look like a fun 2-player head-to-head game. I really like 2025 was a good year for 2-player games, by the way. Lots of good games that were like 2-player focused or 2-player only. That partially was because of the fact that they decided to make every single game in 2025 into a dual game. That became a new trend, like as opposed to like having roll and writes and print and plays. Now everything has to have a dual variation. So expect more of those in 2026 because I imagine that trend will continue. Then we have Inventors of the South Tigris. I love Wayfarers of the South Tigris, and Inventors, I believe, is the second one. There's Wayfarers, Inventors, and Scholars. I think Inventors is the second one, if I'm not mistaken. I believe Scholars is the third one. I could be wrong. But either way, Inventors of the South Tigris, because of how much I enjoyed Wayfarers, I want to play this one. This has me a little uncertain because Garfield games in general, their games are incredibly well loved, and I've usually been kind of more meh on them. Like, they're good, they're all good, but I haven't loved their games for the most part. Hadrian's Wall is definitely an exception, but even that, over time, I found got a little samey. But Wayfarers is the one that I thoroughly enjoy every single time I play it. I find the card, trying to find the right combination of cards, I love that in a game. And so Inventors has me definitely interested, but I don't think this one is as card heavy, so I'm not quite as sure if this will land for me the same way Wayfarers has, but I still want to table it, and I do have a copy of this one. Suna Valo, by the way, Suna Valo is the third one on this list that I do not have a copy. Then we have Ezra and Nehemiah. Ezra and Nehemiah is very highly rated, 515 overall, but 8.2. 8.2 is an incredibly high rating, with enough ratings that still is a meaningful rating. And again, it's another Garfield games, back-to-back, not intentional, that's just the way they landed. But this is one that I do have a copy of, but the main thing with this one is the kind of religious background, the religious theme. I've talked about this with Gollum in the past, where I like it when a game has that kind of Jewish, or you can say biblical, Jewish, whatever you want to call it, but the theme is there, but it doesn't feel like the game is trying to give you a biblical game. It's giving you a good game that happens to have that biblical theme. I really enjoy that. That's why I like about Gollum a lot. It didn't feel like, oh hey, we're gonna have Cards Against Humanity but Jewish edition, which they have that kind of thing. I don't want that kind of stuff. That stuff. I'm not saying it shouldn't exist. I just don't care for it. I want a game though that gives you that theme but feels like it's game first and theme second, and Ezra and Nehemiah definitely feels like it has that. So I'm very excited for this one. Rebuild the walls and temple for the returning exiles of ancient Jerusalem. The high rating combined with the theme that I like definitely has me very excited. But again, the Garfield games is both a badge of how good the game likely will be, but also my own personal experience is like, will I, won't I? Who's to say? We'll find out. Then we have Saltfjord. Saltfjord, this is re-implements Santa Maria. Santa Maria was a game I thoroughly enjoyed, but it wasn't the game that I felt the need to keep. And Saltfjord, if it has the same elements of Santa Maria, I do wonder if this can push it a little more into a game I like. Combine that with a lot of people telling me how much they enjoy this. This is from Porta Games, and I'm very intrigued and excited for this one without being certain. Again, it's a 2024 release. I missed it. I don't know why. Like this is like almost a sleeper hit for me in the sense that when I was putting together this list, part of it is going through 2024 titles and adding them. And for the most part, most of these were games that were already on my radar of games I knew I wanted to get to. And Saltfjord just wasn't. Like, I forgot this game existed. I've heard people recommend it to me, but I just never got it tabled. But it is one that I saw, I was like, that's right, that's a game that I want to play. And I I do want to play it. Again, the re-implementation of Santa Maria is the thing that has me interested, because I liked, whenever there's a game that I like, and they put out a new version of it that hopefully makes it better, that, like, because Santa Maria is good. It was very charming. It was very interesting. There were some things that held it back for me. If they cleaned it up, I could see this being a game that I really thoroughly enjoy. We shall see. I don't have a copy. I do plan on tracking this one down. The tricky part, just fun fact for you about how I approach some of these things, is something like, I don't know, let's say, let's find, what do I not own? I don't own Tales of Arthurian Knights. I'm less likely to go out and buy a copy of this one because I'm a little hesitant. Like, you know, it's a game that, like, I hope to try to play it. There's lots of opportunities, conventions. I go to a lot of conventions. There's games everywhere. But it's less likely to be one that I actually willing to buy because I already have hesitations around Tales of the Arabian Nights. Versus something like, you know, Saltfjord, because I've played Santa Maria, I already know there's enough enjoyment there that I'm more willing to take that, like, that risk aspect of, like, hey, maybe this will be a game for me. It's worth going out and hunting down a copy. Then we have Bardwood Grove. Bardwood Grove is one of 2 games on this list that I have played, but I'm still including it here. I played an early version of this game. I'm not even sure if it's I don't think it was final production. I could be wrong, but I believe I played a copy of this before it was actually final production, which is part of why I'm willing to include it here. The other one also has an asterisk as to why I'm willing to include it. But Bardwood Grove, I played it in 2023, I want to say, like before the game was out. And I played it with the designer, with Carl Van Osteren, and I had a great time. I really, really liked it, and it was one of the highlights. It was at Level Up Retreat, a convention that I definitely recommend you go to. We will be having it this year. Hopefully this video goes live before then, but you can check out Level Up Retreat in the description down below if I remember to put it. But it was one of the highlights of the convention that I played this game. It was so good. I thoroughly enjoyed the way you build up your song and then kind of release it to have a really strong turn. I thought it was very, very well done, and I liked it a lot. But then it just wasn't available yet. It wasn't even out yet, and so I didn't get a chance to play it for a while. And then Final Frontier Games had their issues as well, and they kind of shut down. And Carl Van Osteren himself actually sent me a copy of this, which I'm really, really grateful for, but I haven't played it since then. I have not played it since then. I really want to play it. So I'm willing to include it on this list because it's a 2024 title, but I'm willing to exclude the fact that I played it because I played an early version of the game, or it may have been the exact same as the final version, but it wasn't out yet. The game wasn't out, that's all I know. So Bardwood Grove is one that I want to get tabled properly in 2026. The next one, and back-to-back over here, Metal Gear Solid. I have played Metal Gear Solid. I'm still including on this list, but it's 8.3. It's from CMON. It's actually a CMON pre-order, not really one of the full campaigns, but it's one of the pre-orders. This delivered before everything went south with CMON. But Metal Gear Solid is a solo or multiplayer, although I believe it's best solo. I've only played it solo so far, but I think I would enjoy it most solo. That's basically a stealth management game. You're managing your actions, you're managing your characters as you try to approach whatever the mission objectives are, and try not to get caught or deal with the ramifications of being caught. I've only played like through the first 2 tutorial missions of this, because basically the reason I'm including this is because while I have played this, I haven't even gotten to the full arc of the game, even close to it. I've played the first 2 missions and I was like, I'll play more. And then I just never got to the more part of the conversation. So I really want to play this one. I thoroughly enjoyed it and was excited to keep going and excited to then review it. And it's one of those things where just life happened, and so I played like the first 2 missions in like the first week or whatever, and then now it's like a year later and I have not gotten to more of the missions. But I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it, and again, I'm willing to include it only because it's not that I got one play in, it's that I got, you know, tutorial mission stuff in and not the full game, not yet. Then we have over here, we have Defenders of the Wild. This from Henry Audubon, which has me very interested in it. The lower rating, again, 7.2 is good, but not, oh my gosh, amazing. And again, 7.2, it's interesting. When you look at something like, let's say, Middle Ages, a 7.2 combined with a 2.04 weight rating, that to me usually means it's a slightly lighter game. That's why we have the lower rating, because lighter ratings don't necessarily impress as much, but they can be incredible at what they're trying to do. They can be great for the light space they're taking up. Something like Defenders of the Wild, on the other hand, it's a longer game. It's 1 to 2 hours. It's not 30 minutes. It's a 3.1 on the weight scale, and then still a 7.2. My own 2 cents on how you look at BG ratings, I am slightly more critical of a lower rating on a heavier game than I am of a lower rating on a lighter game. That's my own 2 cents based on how things work for me, and that has generally worked well for me. Which means the 7.2 on Middle Ages makes me think it's a light game that could be very good at what it's doing. And on Defenders, it makes me think that maybe it's good but not great. But that said, I am still very interested in this one. The cooperative puzzle, or the solo puzzle you're playing through, has me intrigued. The cute woodland art aesthetic and all that definitely has me interested. And Henry Audubon as a designer also has me interested. So all these things line up, and again, this is one that I do have. But all these things, in fact, I have all the rest at this point. So I think I didn't have 4. I didn't have MLEM, Tales of the Arthurian Knights, Suna Valo, and Saltfjord. Those are the four I don't have. But that said, Defenders of the Wild, thoroughly enjoyed, thoroughly excited to play this one. It just looks very interesting. I've wanted to play this since it first came out, and now that its time has moved on and slipped past us, I hope to get a table this year. Then we have SAS Rogue Regiment, an 8.6, which is amazing. Like that rating-wise, again, 4,000 rank-wise, which means not a lot of people have access to this. It's like 1,300 people have this marked as own. That's a very small number in the scheme of things. But an 8.6 is an insane rating. That's a very, very high rating. Anything that crosses an 8.5 with enough ratings to be meaningful, like 493 ratings, is a meaningful amount. It's not like as high as thousands, obviously, but it's still a meaningful amount, and an 8.6 is very, very high. This is one that I'm hoping will replace Assassin's Creed for me. Like, I finally got rid of Assassin's Creed this year, and Assassin's Creed is a tricky one because it kind of replaced V Commandos for me. Or V Sabotage. V Commandos that then turned into V Sabotage, so it kind of replaced that for me. But V Commandos / Sabotage was a game that had more one-shot focus, and Assassin's Creed was less one-shot focus. And so, as much as I loved Assassin's Creed and I loved playing through it, it did become a campaign game that was harder to get tabled eventually. And so, eventually, I finally let it go. And so, I'm hoping this kind of brings us back to where V Commandos V Sabotage was for me. And the high rating has me optimistic. It is a stealth management game, similar to kind of like Metal Gear Solid, similar to V Sabotage, all of that. But I'm very, very excited to play this one. I've had it for a while. I backed this campaign. I don't think I backed the expansion. If I recall correctly, I had enough control. I could be wrong, but I think I had enough control to say, no, I'm not backing the expansion because I haven't played the base game yet, which is self-control for me. But SAS Rogue Regiment, I'm very, very excited for this. The high rating combines with where this game falls and what type of thing it's doing. It is a solo, it's a best solo game in terms of it's best with one. It's best with one, that's what it is. It's a 1 to 4 player cooperative experience, but it's going to be best with one. In fact, I assume that chart's going to be very heavily best with one. There's a show over here. No, you can't see it because it's kind of cut off. I have to move my head around the camera. Yeah, like 82% say it's best with one. Like, it really feels like it's really primarily a solo experience, but this is very, very high on my want to play from 2024. I hope I get this table this year. From all the games, I mean, this is high up on the list. The next one is the highest one, but this is the second highest on this list, but it's going to be high even on all 35 games that I want to table. And then lastly, we have Galileo Galilei. I've heard a lot of good things in this one. This is from Capstone Games as well, but I've really been enjoying Pirates of Maracaibo a lot this year, and I constantly hear this one being brought up in that kind of same vein. I don't know if there's any similarities to it, but in terms of like the weight class being a slightly like medium, slightly heavy game, not super like, not a giant big box experience, but one that gives you enough depth to it. I've heard the ratings are pretty good. Again, 7.6 is good. It's not like, oh my gosh, amazing, but I do wonder where this lands for me. But I am very excited for this one. Again, I went out and bought a copy because I have wanted to play this for like the past year, and finally, like, I don't know, like a month ago, I was placing an order, and I was like, you know what, I'm adding it to the cart, I'm making it happen, I want to table this game, but I don't know, like, I have more reason to believe that I'll like SAS Rogue Regiment, but for whatever reason, Galileo Galilei has been high on my list for a while, and I'm excited to play it. So we'll see how that turns out. But that's it. These are the 15 games from 2024 that I want to get played, that I most want to get played. There's others that didn't make the cut because I chose the highest 15 for me, but I'm excited. I liked this challenge last year. I really enjoyed doing this challenge and knocking a lot of games that were on my personal, like not review copies, not things I had to play, not whatever, but there were things that I wanted to get tabled, and I'm excited to be able to do that with these games, with some amount. Hopefully I'll get to 30. The big problem, the mistake I made last year, is I only really started trying on the list in the last like 2 months of the year. Like, I got like maybe 10 done in the first 10 months, and then I got the next 20 done, or the next 19 done in the last 2 months of the year, because I just kind of waited, because, you know, I have tomorrow, and then suddenly in November I was like, you know what, I have to finish this list. So I'm hopeful that if I can approach this list with a little bit more dedication, all I need to do is 2 to 3 games a month. If I do 3 games a month, that's plenty, that's 36 games, I have leeway on that. So all I need to do is play 3 games a month from these lists, and that'll make it pretty easy. And also the BGA games are usually easier, so that's like kind of 10 that you can get out of the way pretty easy. And honestly, my other list I made a small tweak to. You can watch that video. I don't know the order they go out, but the ones from my collection I made a tweak to. You can check that video out as well. That'll hopefully make it easier, and honestly, it's a good enough idea that I think I might try to repeat that every year. In any case, and until next time, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments down below, what games from 2024 have you missed out on? What games from 2024, whether you own them or you don't, have you been wanting to table and just haven't gotten to? Because I'm always curious. There are so many games that come out every single year, and it's very hard to get to them all. And even with a full year past us, it's still hard to get to them all. But do you kind of just move on to, like, they no longer are on your mind at all? Or are there games from 2024 that you still have been craving to get to and haven't done so yet? In any case, until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.